Hi everyone, it's me, I'm back. Pattern-collections.com is where we're going to find today's pattern focus. Scroll down to today's pattern, which is this one. Yep, okay. Uncut. Nobody else has a video on that yet. Or at least not on the website. There isn't. This one's by Shazia, and we're aiming for that. Isn't that pretty? Okay. So, first thing we're going to do is make a nice big circle with an aura around it. Either do the aura on the outside or the inside. Either way will work. Then it looks like we're going to put 4 sets of kind of parallel-ish lines coming out. Pretty wide. From those lines, we're going to connect one to the other, but we're going to connect not the ones that are close together, but the ones that are further apart. It looks a bit like one of those radioactive graphics. Something like that. And then inside these little narrow areas, we're going to put some oval or a roundish shapes. You'll notice they are not all the same shape, and they are not exactly round. They're sort of round-ish. And then around the whole thing, we're going to aura, and then you can color in, or you can do variations. This one's got these little 4 petals a little bit further apart, and in there they've got 2 of the round-ish shapes. And then we've got here, she's got one here. She's got a variation here and here where there's only got 2 of those, this triangular kind of a shape, and then 3 of the roundish shapes. So we're going to do that. Turn on my light. Oops, I got some water on my paper. Oh well, my hands must not have been dry. I just washed my hands. You might see them kind of sparkly. I just created my papers for my Inktober using those glimmer mist spray things that I got from Luminart, I believe it was. The Radiant Rain. I got a really killer deal on them. The deal is over, so, you know, if you go to their website, I believe it's ColorArt, ColorArte.com. You'll find them, but they won't be on the deal that I got. I just happened upon her YouTube channel when I was perusing YouTube, and she was mentioning how they were going to change their price on these products. They had them on clearance, and then they found more in the warehouse, and they decided they didn't need them on clearance. They were just going to try to get rid of the last of them, and it turns out they didn't have just the last of them. They had a whole bunch of them, so they put them back to regular price. And I caught them right the last day of the clearance price, which was awesome. So instead of being like $6.99 each, they were like $2 each, $2.99 each, something like that. Anyway, I showed you those in a previous video. I need to get that out of my way. What am I doing? I'm trying to decide kind of the pattern that the sample pattern has a large one here and a smaller one here and a smaller one there. That makes an interesting composition, and I'm not sure I want to do that. I've got some kind of schmutz on my paper. That that's annoying. I do always like a composition with one big one and then a couple of smaller ones. You know, that Mickey Mouse composition is sort of an attractive one. So I may do that. I think I'll do this one on top, and then this one, and then this one underneath. I think that's what I'll do. Okay, so find myself a pan. I'll do this one first. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see. Move my camera so I can stay comfortable. Do a circle there with another circle around it like that. And then coming out from there, we're going to do like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, something like that. Okay, these ones are my closer ones, these ones are farther apart, so then those are kind of close together, but you know what? It's alright. That helps to make it a more organic sort of shapes. And then we're going to put this sort of roundish shape right in here. Fill in these gaps. Like that. This one's not very symmetrical, and that's alright. And then do an aura around. Like so. And if we want, we can fill in these, which I think I'm going to do. And I think I'm also going to do some kind of something here in the middle. Maybe with some striping in it. That works. This feels a little off balance just because of the way I did that drawing, but it'll probably work its way out as I complete my thing, and if not, I can put a little embellishment in there to make it balanced more. Okay, so a nice big one right here. And then I think for this one, I'm going to make it a little offset aura. The aura doesn't have to keep a nice, even, all the way around. This one was close, but not quite. But I was aiming for having a nice, even aura. This one, I think I'm going to make my aura a little lopsided on purpose. Like that. And then I'm going to try to be a little more symmetrical with my lines. That's a little better. And then this part. And I think I want like that in here instead of one big one. put two smaller ones stacked on top of each other like that. Why not? And then the outside aura. And I'm doing this a little closer, and then when I go out and around this, I'm going a little further out. On purpose. Okay, that looks good. Then we'll do one right in here somewhere. I was going to put it here, but I don't think so. I think I want it more further over this way. Where did my paper go that had all my questions? I keep losing things. I am not well organized. I'm still working on my YouTube questions from viewers. I apologize to, there was somebody who said that they didn't appreciate me talking about my faith on one of those previous videos that had a question about my faith. I was just answering my questions as they come. I apologize if there is somebody who doesn't like when I speak about my faith, but you know, my channel is a little bit of teaching, well, not really teaching, a little bit of demonstrating, and a little bit of vlog combination. And so you get what you get, and you know, I'm not offended if you don't like my content, that's fine. And you know, I kind of warn you ahead of time. So, do you have pets is the next question. And that answer is not at the moment. We do not have pets. We used to, and if you watched one of my previous videos about the question about what was the hardest thing you've ever done, I spoke about when we had to make that terrible decision to let our pets go. At that time, we had Rusty and Ginger. We also had a cat named Cece. My husband did not ever call her by her given name. My husband called her Wet Cat. She was a rescue. There was one day at work, we were out in the back throwing away trash, and inside the dumpster was a litter of kittens. How people can do that, I don't know. I mean, they could have taken the cats to a shelter, or they could have called a rescue, you know, but no, they chose to just throw them in the trash. So, we brought them into the store, and, you know, there wasn't a whole lot we could do for them. They were teeny tiny. Now, I've since learned more about kittens. I wasn't sure how old they were, but I now know that their eyes were open, but that's about it. So they were probably 10 to 20 days. They weren't more than a month. Cece, when I got her, she literally fit right about here in my hand. She couldn't have been more than a couple of weeks old. They were teeny tiny little kittens, and there was, I don't remember how many. We had a box full of them, and what we did is we just put them at the cash register during the day, all that day, and said, you know, we just found these kittens out in the garbage. Would anyone like one? You know, free kittens. And we actually got rid of all of them that day. So, how did I get my cat? Well, the very next day, one of the people who took home a kitten brought it back, because turns out there was somebody in their family that was allergic. And it was like, well, now what do we do with it? And we tried all that day to find a home for that cat, and it just, it didn't go. So I couldn't leave it at the store overnight. You know, those kittens were really small, and, you know, somebody had ran, I think that first day somebody had run over to the pet store and got some kitten formula. I don't even remember at this point. It was so long ago. But, yeah, I said I'd take the cat home. And my husband's all, no cats. I don't like cats. Why did you bring home this cat? I said, oh, I'm going to find it at home. I promise I'll find it at home. And I tried to find it at home and nobody wanted it. So she became mine. But every time my husband wouldn't touch her, wouldn't play with her. And every time I said, you know, I'm going to do such and such for the cat or with the cat, he would say, what cat? We don't have a cat. So basically, he named her What Cat. So, and she had arrived in our household only, you know, a month or so after we got the puppies, which was Rusty and Ginger. So she ended up, because my husband didn't really want anything to do with her, the cat ended up out in the dog run with the dogs all the time, and she just bonded with those dogs. It was like they were her mom. It was like, it was great. They were best friends. So the cat and the dogs were just always together. I'm just playing here around this one. I want something different. It was funny when we would take the dogs for a walk. You know, the dogs would be on a leash, and we would go in the neighborhood and take the dogs for a walk. The cat would follow us. She would go all around the block with us and follow us. She wasn't on a leash, but she was following her dogs. It was funny. So she lasted, I want to say, another couple of year or so after Rusty and Ginger were gone. And then one day we came home, and it was her time to go. But I didn't have to make that agonizing decision. Early on in our marriage, and that was the last time we had pets. We decided that at that point, you know, we really didn't have time to invest in a new cat or dog, because they do take a lot of care if you want to care for them properly. And, you know, I didn't want to just ignore them. But we had a lot going on in our life then, and we just decided that, you know, we weren't going to have any more pets for a while. And it seems like we will probably not have pets going forward. Not that I don't love them and appreciate them, and we, you know, pet sit for our friends and that sort of thing. But I really am enjoying having the ability to just kind of pick up and go without having to worry about care for pets when we go on vacations and stuff. So I think we're just going to not for a while anyway. If I was alone, you know, if God forbid something should happen to my husband, I would probably get a pet again. But that's a whole different ball game that I'm not willing to explore at this moment. I'm just kind of playing with the with the shapes and deciding, you know, where do I want something. This one is busier, but it doesn't have any dark. I just come out and kind of look at it and decide if I want color, if I want more pattern. I don't know. I think I need a little dark. They all need a little dark. I think I'm going to just do here like I did with the other ones. So that was my question. What's the next question? Next question is, my question is, do you make money with YouTube? I don't see ads before your videos. And that was from Holly Homemaker. I don't make much. And I do that on purpose. I mean, I could make some. And I've talked about this before. But the only reason I monetize at all is so that I can upload my videos ahead of time and schedule them. YouTube does not allow you to schedule your videos unless they're monetized. However, I don't choose to put the in-ad videos. The only monetization that there is on my videos is that little, usually when you're watching the video on the regular YouTube screen, at least not on the computer, mobile, I'm not sure, might be on the bottom, but usually over on this side, on the right hand side, are little, there's a little sponsored thing up in the corner, and that's the ad. It's just a little unobtrusive thing over on the side, and most channels have that, and you don't even really notice it. But I really, unless something happens and I need the money, I really, really, really don't like those ads at the beginning, or the ones that go over the bottom of the page where you have to click off of it to see what's going on. I don't like them. And I decided that if I don't like them, I'm not going to put them on my channel just because. But I've been transparent with you guys. I mean, you only get paid from YouTube and Google every time you get at least $100 in your ad revenue account. I think I've only gotten 3 checks in 2 years from Google. So I'm not exactly rolling in the dough here. Usually my videos generate, at this point, early on they didn't generate anything because I didn't have enough viewers. At this point, they generate approximately $20 a month, $30 a month, something like that. I might be up to $40 a month. Still not very much. So it takes a couple of months, 2 or 3, like 3 months before I have enough in my account for them to pay me out. Okay. Because the point of this channel has never been to make money. It's always been to just be for you guys to follow along with me as I learn a new pattern. What was the name of this one? See, I'm not good with names. I'm always forgetting what it's called. Uncut. Which direction do I want these to live? Oh, that way, that way, that way. You know, kind of like that way. Alright, so let's put a little shading in there. And another question while I'm doing that. My question is, did you have, where am I? Did you have artistic talent as a child? Have you always been interested in drawing of some kind? Yes. Absolutely. I don't remember a time where I didn't have pencil or a crayon or paints or fabric, or I mean, I've done so many different things. When I was in school, you know, if there was an art class, I took it if I could. I absolutely did take basket weaving. I absolutely did. That was fun. I've taken batik. I've taken, I've tried, I think it was called pasanki, where you do the wax resist on eggs with dye. So it's a bit like batik, but it's on eggs. I've done, you know, I've used watercolors. I've used pencil. I've used ink. I've used, I've never done encaustics. Not done encaustics. I've done, you know, more craft things with hot glue guns and fake flowers and wreaths. And back in the day when it was super popular, I made those mop head dolls, those like rag dolls made out of the head of a string mop. I've done painting on little plaster sculptures. I've just dabbled in most crafts. If you have an art or a craft that is out there in the world, I have probably tried it at least once. Oh, ceramics. I love ceramics. I had this awesome ceramics class when I was in high school. Of course, you know, most of the kids in the high school ceramics class were making things that shouldn't have been made, but, you know, ceramics teacher was a little lenient, pretended not to know what the kids were making. There was a lot of illegal substance paraphernalia being made in the ceramics class. That's all I have to say about that. And the thing is at the beginning of that, I was so naive because it was just not on my radar that I had seriously no clue what they were doing. Somebody finally told me, "Really? You don't know what so-and-so is making?" I was like, "No, I don't." I believed them when they said it was an incense burner. Yeah, I was completely and totally naive. Oh well, that's okay. It's not something I ever thought I needed in my life, and I'm glad that I did not go down that path. Some of the kids did. There was a lot of partying going on in high school. I'm sure that was happening with you guys too. Most people turned out okay, but not everybody. Not everybody made it through. And yeah, that's not something you ever want to deal with. Drug overdoses are not funny. Although some of the kids thought it was. Oh, so-and-so OD'd last night. Like, really? You just didn't, take it like that and not affecting you? But apparently that's what happens when you're a little drugged out. Things don't register properly in your psyche. But anyway, all right, that's the end of that one. I have some papers drying over there. I've made quite the mess. But I got papers drying. When they get dry, I'm going to cut them up and use them for Inktober. Any of you who are following Inktober, you can either follow the official Inktober prompts. I'm going to turn that off for just a second. Or you can go into pattern collections, go to the home page here. And right now, I believe you can scroll down here to latest news. This might not be the top item anymore by the time you see this video, because it'll be October and not September. But click on Inktober, and Ina and Nicole have created an Inktober list for 2018 for our group. So that's what I'm going to be doing for this month's Inktober. But I have created my background pages, and I'm letting them dry. Some of them are quite colorful. They're all quite colorful. Last year I had a lot of the darker colors, the browns and the oranges and the greens. This time they're really vibrant. I don't know. They might be different when they dry, but let me turn my light back on so I can take a picture of this. Alright, so I'm done with that. I'm getting ready for my Inktober. So as soon as those are dry, I can start drawing some Inktober drawings. That's going to be fun. And anything else? I'm thinking nothing for today. Okay, so you guys have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. I'll answer some more questions, and I'll be back. Bye.